Okay, Mure Zimbabwe. Here are the latest updates. Things are happening muno Zimbabwe nepa South Africa. So, tine mukomana isusu. One of the biggest activists anozikama munyika yese anova comrade Nyokayemabhunu. Right, comrade Nyokayemabhunu, let me get into a little bit of his history so that we catch up with some other Zimbabweans so that they know kuti mufesi ari kunyangadza right now. Ari kutaurwa everywhere nezvake anonzi comrade Nyokayemabhunu ari muSouth Africa kujere anova pane information iri kutiudza kuti the Zimbabwean government requested his extradition kutogwa kubva kujeri kuSouth Africa ouya osungwa mujeri remuno muZimbabwe. So let's get into this. Mune Zimbabwe, mukomana anonzi comrade Nyokayemabhunu is or was a political activist who was pushing the narrative, who was with Vana Comrade Geza, who was talking about my demonstrations, who was talking about overturning the government, who was talking about Chiwenga presidents, who was talking about removing ED, and he wasn't playing, he wasn't talking, like we do about what other people are doing, the things that are happening in government or in the military. No, he was talking and saying, and so unfortunately mukomana uyu akabva asungwa in South Africa. Nanditi, some people will tell you directly kuti kusungwa kwake was politically motivated in the sense yekuti the Zimbabwean government somehow got into contact with the South African police or paid some other South African police kuti vatevere mufana uyu ndobva vamusunga on the basis yekuti mapepa ake haasi right, but tiri kunzwa kuti first angane asylum, and then on top of that vakatanga kutaura kuti this guy been involved in fraud. Handiti mukomana uyu ari kunzi ari kurwarwa fraud. So wasungwa wagara mujeri for a very long time, and then now pane information iri kuti mukomana uyu government yeZimbabwe yamurequesta tadzoka nditi, but also pane information iri kutotudza kuti mukomana uyu watozobviswa kujeri kuSouth Africa. As we speak right now, he's in a jail in Zimbabwe. So we don't know how far through this is. It's still a developing story. We're still going to do investigations and do confirmations. Updates. So make sure but let's get into it with say. So I'm sure by now a lot of you vanotevera Zimbabwean politics vanogara pari pamuzinda wevanhu and other channels, they know there's one thing that is being talked about, chekuti icho the whole plan yekuuyisa mukomana anonzi Nyokayemabhunu from South Africa to Zimbabwe is so that they can torture him, interrogate him, do all kinds of things to him, so that they want one thing from him, for him to confess kuti anga ane connection na Comrade Geza, kuti Comrade Geza na iye vose vanga vakatumwa na Vice President Chiwenga. This is a big thing. You have to catch with this. This is a big thing. Kunzi, if this guy anonzi Nyokayemabhunu ari mujere after arohwa or aintimidate aitwa say ends up talking achiconfessa kuti inini ndandakatumwa nawo Vice President Chiwenga, ndandakabhadhagwa naChiwenga, ndandakaitwa say, they want to take that evidence and then use it against Chiwenga. They will come to the public with evidence that Chiwenga was involved in a plot to remove his boss, the president, and therefore Chiwenga is no longer fit to be the vice president. As a matter of fact, he belongs into jail. Somehow, that's treason, what he was trying to do. So, do you understand, Muri Zimbabwe, the plan right now? Let me tell you, Muri Zimbabwe, I want to update you on this. So, some of you are thinking, I've heard in my comment section, my Zimbabweans, they call me all the time, on my phone, phone numbers, in the channel description, I'm sure. Oh, tapas times, but whatever. Telephone number, can I open Inside Africa Network, by YouTube, or, the main Inside Africa Network, and then Inside Africa Network TV. That's per Facebook. Phone numbers, they do on those pages. You will see. And a lot of Zimbabwe calls me. But she knows about a lot of things, that she complain about a lot of things, asking me about a lot of things. So one thing that Zimbabweans have said to me, inyaya inechekuenderana nekuti iwe super isusu we really think kuti Chiwenga na Mnangagwa is one team, and we really think kuti now that Chiwenga, now that Cape 3 has been signed into law na Mnangagwa, Chiwenga is just going to cool down. After all, he is a vice president. What can go wrong? Mazimbabwe zananga zvokwandira, right? Muri Zimbabwe, what can go wrong? Munaka question kakaka. A lot of things are going wrong already. What can go wrong? Let me get into it. So, Mnangagwa is not comfortable with Chiwenga as his vice president. Finish and clear. He is not. His biggest enemy, the biggest enemy to Mnangagwa establishing a Mutapa empire in Zimbabwe is Chiwenga. That's his biggest enemy. The reason why Mnangagwa moves slowly, crafting things like Cape 3 in his journey to establish Mutapa empire in Zimbabwe is Chiwenga. So he doesn't want Chiwenga anywhere close to him. He doesn't want Chiwenga as the president. I mean, this is my opinion. He doesn't want Chiwenga as the president, as the vice president. He doesn't want him. And it's just pretend. So they are plotting behind, and all they want is evidence to convince who? Comrades, to convince generals in the military, retired generals of the military, to convince the masses of Zimbabwe. Could look, Chiwenga uyu ne moso yake iyi. So Nyokayemabhunu is an opportunity for Mnangagwa and his cabal. Now, you see, wait. I have to talk about this. You see, when we talk of Mnangagwa and his cabal, you have to understand something. And this is something you have to understand. Mnangagwa has got billions, he has got money, he's old, he knows he's going to die soon, and whatever. So, it's really not about him. But vanhu vakatenderedza Mnangagwa vakafanana kuda kwashitagure. Remember, kuda kwashitagure is so big and he has got a lot of influence over the president, right? Kuda kwashitagure knows that his biggest enemy is Vice President Chiwenga. This is the same man. Remember, aka submitted to Susu the Chiwenga dossier back in September 2025. And this dossier, what it was all about Gananda. It was all about Watoti Susu, matendapreneurs, akatendere the president. It was saying to the Politburo, ZANU-PF Politburo, remember, kune matsotsi atendere the president Mnangagwa. Sezvo zvakangoitwa president Mugabe. Ene matsotsi aya ari kuwana ma state resources, ari kuwana ma government contracts, achishandisa corruption. And then he named names. Kuda kwashitagure, Scott Sakupanya, Wikino Chivayo, chakadaro nguwaya, etc. So Tagure, Wikino Chivayo, nezvimwe zvigananda, they know kuti their happiness, their freedom in Zimbabwe, for them to keep bowling, and it vachifamba nemamotakedi vanakuda kwashitagure, vanofamba nemamotakedi, mazibhenze kuti unozvibvunza iwe mazibrabhas or whatever. And it must it's not about being humble or for the people or whatever. It's about bowling. It's about being big dogs. They are living like big dogs. And they have all the access to state resources. Kumari yenyika. You understand? So they are living big. And they know that if Chiwenga ever takes over, they are going to be investigated. Their wealth, stolen wealth, is going to be confiscated. It's going to be taken by the government. You understand? So they will come up with all kinds of ideas and suggest those ideas to Mnangagwa as if what they wish for, kuti Mnangagwa arambari president, is okwete. What they wish for is for them to be protected forever. For them and the wealth they have stolen to be protected. Murubabada. So, muri Zimbabwe, handutaura zvakawandisa. Inanditauri too much, you know, but mazvinzwira muri Zimbabwe. So, tachitaura musoro paNyokayemabhunu, tichitaura chichi, and then we ended up on this. So, stay tuned. Ndini wenyu Super Nexus. We make sure we're going to fix this country. So, unomuzinda wevanhu kubva kuvanhu by public demand. Peace.